Hi Jonathan. Thanks for helping my project. Can you say a little bit about yourself?
I would love to. My name's Jonathan Blackwell. I live in Tomball, Texas. Professionally, I work for a design, build, and engineering firm, and we develop and deploy renewable energy projects and smart city projects. Outside of work, I like to run. I like to, let me see, what else do I like to do? I like to watch a lot of nerdy movies. So I like anything dealing with Marvel or DC. 80s music is the best music ever. And I like most things that do with space.
I think you saying you like to run is an understatement, considering how you travel around the world for marathons.
Okay, I've traveled to one other continent for a marathon, so don't oversell it. This September, it would be two international marathons, but yes, I did the Berlin Marathon in 2019 for the MS Society, and I got invited back to run again in 2021.
Wow. When are you going? It's like not. It's only a few weeks from now, isn't it?
No, at the end of September.
End of September.
Yeah, if
Okay.
I went right now, I would not sustain the 26.2 to the best of my ability. It would be a poor outcome.
Hmm. I've only done a half marathon, and that killed me. So I.
Halves are awesome. So
Yeah.
after this next 26.2, it's going to be 13.1s.
Oh
So
really? Okay.
most definitely. It's the marathons take up a lot of training time, and it's just yeah, we're busy. We got a lot of things going on, and between work, family, and trying to squeeze in the proper training for the marathon so you don't get hurt, just like you did with your half marathon. You have to put in the time,
Yeah.
and your output's always going to be a measurement of your input. Well, you got to put in that input, and that takes time and commitment. And if you don't do it, you get hurt. And so it's, anyways, 13.1s are more manageable.
Yeah. Yeah. I still though I dream of doing the 26.2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're watching For All Mankind right now.
Yes, I am. I am. My wife and I are watching that. So we're actually gonna watch episode 5 of season 2 this evening. So we've dove into it. It's quite the interesting show.
So, 1972, last time we had people on the moon,
Yeah.
and all mankind, it continues because we lost and we had to go further and better.
Yes, we had to keep one upping
Yeah.
the opposition, which was the, as we grew up, the USSR. They were the bad guys. So yeah, in the show, they have to keep on one upping them. They build a base camp. We have to build a bigger base camp. We find materials to mine. We have to protect that material to mine or take it back when they take it from us. So it's a lot of a lot of back and forth, the ebbs and flows of loner dominance is how I see the show.
Do you think it really would have kept going if we had lost?
Maybe losing could be a big motivator to do better. With almost anything in life, if you don't get the outcome you want to get, you can quit, which is easy. But I mean, if you got some stake in something, you really want to put forth a stronger, more vigilant effort. Yeah, I think losing could be good for you on certain occasions because you want to do more, you want to do better, versus you go there and you say, all right, we did it, let's go home,
Yeah.
and then we stop. I mean, progress. There has not been progress. I mean, from a technology standpoint, sure, progress has been made, but there really hasn't been progress for going beyond the moon, colonizing the moon. None of that's happened. And how many decades has it been?
Oh,
5 decades.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know. Next year will be the 50th anniversary of our last time on the moon. And only 12 people walked on the moon. I think only 5 of them were still alive. So kind of interesting to see if they can hold out 3 more years.
Hopefully, the majority can. The remaining majority.
So did you know that we were planning to send people back to the moon in 2024?
I did not until you told me. So I think that's really awesome.
And what do you think about it? Besides being really awesome.
It's needed. It's we need to further our space exploration, which means we have to get off the Earth. And so the next closest location to go to is the moon. And that could be a launching pad to go to further destinations. But we definitely have to do it. You can't keep doing the same thing because you'll get the same results. You got to modify what you're doing. So we got to do something different. And thankfully, with a lot of private investors, with Branson, what's Blue Sky, Blue Origin.
Oh, Blue Origin, yeah.
So
Bezos.
that's yeah. So brilliant man, way more brilliant than myself.
Well,
but,
definitely lucky. Good timing.
good timing, yeah. From used books to outer space is quite remarkable. But he has he's behind the eight ball right now. Elon is making everyone up their game, but that's a free market for you. He's pushing. He's making people become more creative, and someone who was once ignored and laughed at by NASA. NASA's now seeking him out, if I'm not mistaken. So I think we're on the right track.
Do you think we'll forever be Earth-centered, or do you think there's at some point where humanity will expand beyond Earth?
Okay, so I did mention that I like comic book based movies, so I like to think that we would go beyond Earth. It's all contingent about what technology enables us to do. It's I think it can happen. Who can say when, right?
Well, I guess it's when people make it happen.
True, when they make it happen, but you know way more about this than me. So you love it from a scientific standpoint. You like it from all standpoints. I like it from the the sci-fi standpoint, and I do appreciate and respect the history of what we've done thus far. But what do you think? When do you think we would be able to travel beyond the moon, manned aircraft, to visit other planets?
I try to imagine like this COVID situation where we're like locked in our homes, and we're in Texas.
Yeah.
Being locked in our homes is very different to being in like Europe or in Asia, where locked in our homes means being locked in a very small apartment.
Sure.
But even that was very constricting. We could still go out in our backyard, and we're traveling around. It's not so bad. I just have trouble imagining being happy in a contained facility all the time. A spacesuit has got to be the most disgusting thing ever, because you're like, every breath you take is inside of the suit, and you sweat, and it's like an expensive piece of equipment, so you can't just like replace it. And these people that are colonists, they're on one hand more technologically enriched than we are, but on the other hand, they're so like they're always on the line of not having enough resources, and
they don't live on the cutting edge; they live on the bleeding edge.
The bleeding edge, yes.
And they're very comfortable with that. And yes, spacesuits would. It's a man or human shaped petri dish. It's just and I'm claustrophobic, so I couldn't even imagine that. That would drive me insane. Yes, I don't know. I cannot do what they do. But if I could go into space in a not so confined individual suit, right? I would do it. If it was affordable, of course. So who knows what that's going to be, right? There's speculation about what that might look like. We talked a little bit about that before this. But I would go into space to experience the real zero gravity experience of being beyond planet Earth. But I'm not brave enough to be like those people that would travel to an unknown place and colonize it and look for resources and be on that bleeding edge. Cutting edge is cool for me. Bleeding edge is too much.
I just worry, how do you find sane people willing to do that? It's just like, it's almost like, what is it, Catch-22? It's like, if you're willing to go, you almost disqualified yourself.
Yeah, it's, right, because you can't pass the psych exam. Yeah, I know. It's, like I said, the people that go there are way more intelligent than I am, and they definitely have a different perspective on what they want to accomplish in life. You have to give it your all to go to outer space because the risk is just so vast. I mean, there's so many things that can go wrong. But for them, the juice is worth the squeeze. They're like, let's do it. Let's go. Let's check it out. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, I'm happy with getting, you know, my medals for running marathons. I don't need to say that I was first to visit Mars or some other place, but I would like to get into outer space at one point in my lifetime if it becomes a commercial option. So,
If there was a marathon on the moon, did you see yourself bouncing through
oh
that?
heck no, it would be exhausting recycling my oxygen over and over again. It's you know, that would be a horrible thing to do. Maybe I'll do a 30-meter sprint, but definitely not a marathon up there.
Yeah. I mean, you bounce, bounce, you know?
Yes, you could
It's like
bounce your way.
You
to
almost
the,
have to.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So Discovery Channel is having a show called Who Wants to Be an Astronaut? It's going to be going next year. They say it's going to be grueling. It's like I imagine it's like a space version of American Ninja type of
Are you
thing.
going to apply for it?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I maybe. I mean, I don't think I would be like the demographic that would attract people to watch the show.
Oh, come on.
But you know, I think it'd be fun if that worked out. But do you see yourself doing something like that?
No, I couldn't. So look, I appreciate the technology behind space travel, and I appreciate what's been done. I love the idea of where we could go. I love just to fantasize about what's possible. But I think there are those people that if they had the shot to become an astronaut, those are the people with the passion, the intellect, the drive. Those are the people that should be on that show. But I'll watch it. I'll give them a little piece of that ratings pie for my household.
Man, they need a lot of pie to make it worthwhile.
Oh man, I'm sure it's gonna be pretty costly, pretty expensive.
I imagine it'd be like $100 million between like the 55 million to actually send the person, and then all the promotion and everything else.
Now, is Elon sponsoring this, or Bezos? Is it NASA endorsing this, or who's?
I think it's just Discovery Channel buying a ticket on a SpaceX Crew Dragon.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a private company here in Houston called Axiom Aerospace. They
Okay.
put together 4 missions where they're sending people to space.
At what cost?
I think it's around like 55 million a person.
Oh my god, I'm in the wrong business.
I know. At some point, it's going to be hilarious. But I imagine the first airline tickets from the U.S. to like Europe were out of this world too.
Yeah. What were the Concorde flights in the 80s and 90s? Those were $20,000-$30,000 tickets.
Oh,
I
were
think.
they? Okay.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Maybe at today's dollar, that's what it's worth. But you know, I showed you the Concorde style jet that United's coming out with. They announced it yesterday.
That's awesome.
I think those might be 2x a normal first class price ticket, which is far less than what it was 30 years ago. Is my point. So yeah, time will bring commercial travel to space to a more affordable, a more acceptable purchasing level. For not maybe for everybody, because not everybody can buy a first class ticket, but it'll be more accessible to most than it is right now, which that's not saying much, because who can get up there right now? But
Yeah, that's what Elon likes to say is, the people in first class are spending 3 times as much or 2 times as much as the people in economy, but they get there at the same time.
yeah,
It's like at this, paying twice first class and getting there in half the time is huge.
yeah, no, that is.
So, well, I really appreciate your time.
I'm glad to be a participant. I think thanks for spending the time with me to ask me questions that hopefully I didn't botch the answers on or sound too silly in front of this camera.
Well, I kind of envision this as a project for people not even born yet, to look back 50 years, 100 years from now, at this time right before we take those steps on another world, hopefully for the beginning of a much longer journey than last time.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like the 2020s are going to be to space what the 1990s were to the internet.
Okay.
The 2020s are going to be what people thought the 1970s were going to be.
Okay.
That's what I think. So I think we're at the cusp right before, of like a big space kind of development.
Yeah.
And
A space boom.
a space boom.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't used words like boom
Well-
and with space. But
This is sonic boom. This
A
is sonic boom,
sonic
right?
boom,
Right.
yes.
So that's the boom I'm referring to.
I was
Not a
gonna-
bad boom.
I was thinking explosions, about the beginning of a space explosion.
You went dark. I was going positive.
Yeah,
with
positive.
Boom. And you went way dark on that. Come on, Nathan.
I know it's going to be huge. Indeed.
But thank you.
Thank you so
very
much.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.